Hello and welcome back to another episode of Tiger Eye. We've got a great episode for you this week. Anthony is talking to some of our teaching staff about their experience with college. I'm taking a closer look at one of our students for a senior spotlight this episode, and Max is finding out about how some of our student body handles the challenge of simultaneously working while also being enrolled in school. We only have 4 days this week with spring break starting this Friday, so let's jump right in and give it to Anthony.
With graduation coming up May 23rd of this year, many seniors will be coming across a great crossroad in their life, deciding what to do post-high school. However, many of our teachers in the school have already walked down that path of life and have gained many memorable experiences from their journey throughout college.
Yeah, once I got into my actual core classes of my biology classes, I felt like I had a good group of friends that we had each class together. We could study together, we would go on hikes together, and just having that camaraderie was a really a fun and enjoyable time.
It was a great experience. I was first time being on my own. I was worried about I wouldn't meet a lot of new friends, but it turns out people that lived on the 9th floor of Gardner at Appalachian State, we all got to be really close, and some of them I still keep in contact with to this day.
I really enjoyed college. I liked the freedom that it gave me. I liked exploring different classes because I think when I first went to college, I wasn't 100% sure what I wanted to do, and so getting to kind of experiment with classes freshman year and see what I liked and what I didn't like.
Experimenting with different classes can be a great way to discover subjects that you might not have thought you would enjoy, all the while meeting great and interesting professors along the way.
Favorite class was a summer class. I took taxonomy of mushrooms, and we did a couple of days in the classroom, but most of the time we spent on the Blue Ridge Parkway picking mushrooms and collecting and identifying, and it was an awesome, awesome time. I would take that class again tomorrow.
I really liked my English professor. I went to school to be a high school English teacher and then obviously shifted into math, but I really liked just getting to read and discuss books.
My favorite professor I had at was this guy. His name's Dr. Orvis, and he was he actually taught Renaissance literature, and he was just hilarious. He was hysterical. I absolutely love them.
College campuses can be just as diverse as the classes and people within them, and discovering which college you're going to can be just as important as to why you're going there.
I think you need to pay attention to the campus. All of them are very different. Some of them are in a city. Some of them are more remote.
If you're someone who's I really love being in a city, trying to get into to NC State or UNC would be a great goal. Obviously, you got some more rigorous college admissions there, but if that's the vibe you really want and that's what you really like, that'd be a great place to be looking into.
Although college is a big step for most, going to new places away from home and meeting up with new people can be quite the culture shock.
I think the biggest culture shock is time management. So you go from being in high school where you're at school for 7-8 hours a day, you're kind of told where to go and what to do. And then in college, you register for your own classes, you pick what times you go to classes, and then there's nobody telling you that you have to be there.
The cultural shock of coming to the United States was bigger. I was born in Ithaca, New York, but I grew up in Venezuela since I was 4 months old. So when I came back after I graduated from architecture, when I was 23, that was a big shock because I didn't know how to speak English.
I would say the biggest culture shock is you'll go into a college classroom and these professors will say hilarious and wild things and you're like, I didn't even know you could say that in a classroom.
With such a big life change coming up for seniors in the spring, it can never hurt to have some more advice in your pocket, so that no matter what happens, you'll always be just a little bit more prepared.
The game plan, I didn't have a game plan till it got near the end of my senior year. If you know what you want to do now as a sophomore or junior, start planning your curriculum towards that.
You're never too old to do what you really want to do, and changing your mind is fine too.
First and foremost, you can choose your major later down the road. You just need to, know where you'd like to go, make sure it's a good fit for you, and then, enjoy your time up there, make friends, don't be the lonely guy or lonely gal, find a niche and stick with it.
Thank you to all of our wonderful teachers here at Fred T. Ford for all that they've shared with us, and we hope that no matter where you're going after high school, you'll be just that bit more prepared for the challenges ahead and excited for the memories that you'll make.
Thanks, Anthony. It's great to see some insight into some college experiences here to potentially help our students, specifically our seniors, maybe help them learn something about their journey after high school. For senior Blake Powell, he prioritizes challenging himself with schoolwork to better himself in more ways than just academically.
Taking them hard classes, it really brings out who you really are, because it shows you how well that you're determined. It shows you how smart you are. It just shows you, it teaches you a lot about yourself as well.
He studies probably harder than any kid I've ever seen. I mean, he's big on his schoolwork.
Playing baseball at 5 years old to now being a senior in high school, Blake's father enrolled him in the sport for many reasons.
Sports teaches you a lot. I mean, you have to interact, you have to be able to work with other people, and he just fell in love with it at an early age.
Playing since such a young age has left a huge impact on his social life and how he approaches it.
Shaped my friends and how I go about things now.
He started playing with some of these kids when he was 7 years old, and he's always just loved it himself. It's kind of a natural thing to him.
Having a strong passion for baseball, playing on varsity freshman through senior year, Blake plans to play for CVCC this upcoming fall on an athletic scholarship.
It's just something that I love, and it's one of my hobbies that I enjoy doing, and it helps me relax, and it just takes my mind off living life sometimes.
Playing with another senior, Ryan Zick, for 3 years on varsity, being on a team together has given Ryan a good view of Blake's ability on the field.
He's serious. He's a good leader on the team just because he's a catcher. He's pretty much the leader of the field.
Ryan has gotten to know Blake on and off the field. The leadership element Blake brings to the team doesn't mean a fun side won't shine through.
And he's funny. He's like a quiet funny. So he doesn't talk much, but when he does, it's always some sort of joke that he says. Thanks
to not only Blake, but also his friends and family. Max this week is looking into what it means to be a student that works a job.
Having a job in high school is something that many adults recommend. Whether students work to learn life lessons, build practical skills, or so they're able to spend money, having a job certainly has its advantages. But balancing school, homework, sports, and a job can have its challenges.
It's a lot. It genuinely is a lot, because I'm also in the middle of taking nursing fundamentals, and that's one of the bigger classes here.
It was challenging having to, balance time between work and high school.
The challenges I have is just balancing out school, sports, going to work and everything, and still trying to maintain energy. It's kind of hard because I actually work 2 jobs instead of just 1, so I pretty much have a full week almost constantly.
Having money isn't just about buying clothes, coffee, and toys. It also gives us freedom and independence. For some Ford students, that independence is a reason to get a job.
I really love having the freedom of having my own money and being able to do whatever I want, whenever I want, because I don't have to have my parents pay for anything. You want that money to be able to afford anything you want and be able to, you don't have to ask people for help anymore.
Working a job can help some students to become more friendly and social, which can help them to be better at their job.
Friendly is usually most important, especially in the front of the restaurant, in the back. Generally if I find somebody that's just looking for a job, they'll start in the dish area, and those are people that don't want to interact with people. So here we actually can take quite different personalities.
Your communication skills, because you have to talk to people, and in school, if you're shy, it's your decision to talk to people, but having a job, you have to do it.
I've definitely become more sociable. I can talk to people a lot easier. I've definitely come out of my shell a little bit, which is what I was hoping would happen. Since I plan to go into nursing, I kind of need to be a little more of an outgoing person.
One difference between being a student and an employee is the level of responsibility expected from you.
You don't have someone watching over you, making sure you're doing everything right. They just think you're doing something right. they're not over you, like, are you doing this right? Are you doing this right?
You have more responsibility, and you're more like accounted for. Like, you have to be there on time, and like you can't be late and stuff.
According to a study done by Common Sense Media, teens spend an average of 4.5 hours on their cell phones every day. High schoolers' overuse of technology can pose some issues for employers. But for local restaurant owner Matthew Miller, hiring students has its advantages.
They don't have any bad work habits. So, you can train them up and they'll do a good job. It's actually a benefit to the restaurant to have a wide variety of people and personalities.
Spending time at work can spark interests and build life skills for students.
It's made me want to like explore like other businesses, like foods and like maybe like a car wash, like detailing, and like just maybe wanted to explore like the variety of jobs you can get.
I would say my time management is a little bit better. Now I've started to focus on one task at a time, getting it done quick.
Having a job in high school has a lot of advantages, but also some challenges. It may not be for every student, so think carefully about whether it's right for you.
Now it's time for this week's Wins with Wyant.
Hi, I'm Ethan Wyant, and I'm here with Coach Miller. So, Coach Miller, what's your win for this week?
Everyone's Coach Miller, aka Mr. Hefner. My biggest win for this week is I turned in my EdTPA, which is the thing you do to get certified to teach. Ask any younger teacher about EdTPA. They'll freak out. They'll be like, oh man, I hated that. So I got that turned in, super excited. Also saw a duck the other day. It was a mallard. It was by the stream out behind my house. Super excited. That was probably my biggest win, was the duck, yeah.
All right, that is it for this Wins with Wyant. Back to you.
Well, that's all for this week, and we'll see you the next.